Hi there, welcome to Forest Fridays with Val. Thank you for joining in on my new channel. It'd be really awesome if you enjoy being in nature, that if I could, I would. Little dose of slowing down, noticing what you're noticing, and watching the terrain where I live change on a weekly basis. It'd be amazing if you liked and subscribed to what I'm trying to do. Part of this is really a motivation for myself to get down here on a regular basis. Even though I moved to the countryside and I had this deep yearning to be in nature all the time, I get caught up in a lot of things. And I really am trying to make it an intention for myself to spend a little bit of time in this beautiful environment and sharing it with you. So my hope is that over time people will find this, and maybe you live in the city of wherever in the world you are, and maybe there's not a lot of trees, or maybe the park is boring or small or whatever it might be. And this might give you just a little bit of a dose of getting outside. Last week's video, I talked about the benefits of forest therapy. It's also called forest bathing, Shinrin-yoku, and this has kind of been a proven technique of really helping ourselves by spending some time in a natural environment. So I'm coming to you from the foothills of Appalachia. I'm in Middle South Tennessee. It's the last Friday of November 2023. It's supposed to start raining in December. It might get snowy at some point in January or February. So I think that it'll be nice just to get down here and watch how things change, including how the river flows in a different way. So it did rain a little bit this week. There's a little bit of a change in the river area here, but I like to set up and basically start our session with reading a little bit of poetry. I'm starting from this book. I'm just in the section of Impermanence, and I read a few poems before taking a walk and kind of showing you a little bit of whatever we notice. So let's get into it. Okay, last week we read a little Yeats and Shakespeare. I'm literally just going in the order of these pages, so I'm not really sure what's going to come up next. But this is by A.R. Ammons, born 1926, passed 2001. This is called Continuing. Continuing the show, some prize-winning leaves, broad and firm, a good year. I checked the ground for the accumulation of 50 seasons. Last year was prominent to notice whole leaves curled, some still with color, and underneath the year before, though paler, had structure, partial, airier than linen. But under that, sand or rock soil already mixed with the meal or grist. Is this, I said to the mountain, what becomes of things? Well, the mountain said, one mourns the dead, but who can mourn those the dead mourned? Back away, they sift in a tearless place. But I said, it's so quick, don't you think? Quick. Most time, the mountain said, lies in the thinnest layer. Who could bear to hear of it? I scooped up the sand which flowed away, all but a cone in the palm. The mountain said, it will do for another year. This is a Japanese poem written some point between 1118 and 1190, Sagyo. Winter has withered everything in this cold mountain place. Dignity is in its desolation now, and beauty in the cold clarity of its moon. that was translated by William LaFleur. Now the seasons in here, I'm not editing, I'm going in order. I might skip one or two. But this one is, I think, a Chinese, Chinese poem. Su Tung Po, 1037 to 1101. There's a bold title. It looks like 12th moon, 14th sun. A light snow fell overnight, so I set out early for South Creek, stopped for a quick meal, and arrived late. I wonder if I should maybe I'll mark this one and bring it to us with me. Do something with snow. I'll do that. Okay, let me skip. Lucia Perillo, 1958 to 2016, after reading the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Okay. And again, this is Impermanence, Mindfulness, and Joy. So we're in the Impermanence section of this poetry collection. The hungry ghosts are ghosts whose throats stretch for miles, a pinprick wide, so they can drink and are never sated. Every grain of sand is gargantuan, and water goes down thick as bile. I don't know how many births it takes to get reborn, as not the flower but the scent. To be allowed to exist as air, a prayer to whom? Dear whom? The weight of being is too much. Victor Figer, for his final meal, asked for an olive with a pit, so that a tree might sprout for him, from him. It went down hard, but the murderer's comfort. He is a shady spot in the potter's field. But it might be painful to be a tree, to stand so long with your arms up. You might prefer to be a rock, if you can wear that heavy cloak. In Bamiyan, the limestone Buddhas stood, as tall as minor mountains, each one carved its own alcove. When their heads eroded over time, the swallows built nests from their dust, even after zealots blew them up. Now the swallows wheel in empty alcoves, their mouths full of ancient rubble. Each hungry ghost hawks up his pebble so he can breathe. And the dead multiply under the olive tree. Okay, well, the next one is springtime, so I might go through and edit and note some of these so we can read them during certain seasons, but I'll let you watch the water here for a minute. So through this series, I encourage you to take out the headphones, turn off your notifications for other things, put your phone in airplane mode or what have you, if you're watching this on a desktop, and really just spend a little bit of time, notice what you're noticing, and take this practice with you into your daily life. I like to encourage people to look up rather than down all the time. But if you do look down, what are some of the things that you see? So at first I thought we could go look at some of the mushrooms growing on the tree that I saw last week. And then we'll start making our walk back up the bluff to see where we're standing from a different perspective. And as I've said in previous videos, so this is the first month that I've done this. A few years ago, I started doing a Walk With Me Wednesdays, but I ended up having too many technical difficulties to keep that up and post them on a regular basis. But you can see that there are trees that get downed here. So this whole island is full of old tree trunks that have been fallen from the side of the river and washed away, having led an interesting life. This one looks like it got chopped. Obviously, it's cut perfectly at some point. Who knows? Last week, all of those mushrooms were nice, bright white. Just moving a tiny bit from the bend right there where there's a lot of water flow and it's a little bit louder. You can see how things get a little bit calmer. And I just feel like that is like such a metaphor for life. Sometimes we're in that like chaotic spot, but we can't see around the bend. So take a look at my water video, talking about water as life and life philosophy, and just remembering to breathe when you get to those chaotic situations. Yeah, okay, so you can you see how muddy that is? The rain came through. So even just a little bit of rain will raise this river a little bit or a lot, depending on how much rain, for a little while, and then it recedes. This is kind of the normal level, but a couple of summers ago, this section here was all washed out. There were no rocks like that. This was like a little swimming area. So again, making this a weekly habit for me is just something I wanted to do to check out how the terrain changes. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can kind of see, there's a slope here. So this last year or 2 years ago, had gotten all dug out and was like this little swimming area. And then more storms came and more rocks came and filled it in. And that is what is so cool. Where those rocks are coming from, I have no idea. It's possible that all these will be gone, but they do get good roots, so it might be that this island is starting to grow. Apparently there's islands all along this river. I'm just trying to find the right spot to get back. Okay, so we're gonna walk up there before we say goodbye for the day. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything that you see here. I'm going to try and not get close to this guy. Keep having to pluck all the seeds off my clothes. Let's go this way. Can you hear the birds? I can't do these live because there's no cell phone service reception out here. So just over on that side, walk through this section, please. It's a little wet, a little damp. the layer of leaves from the poem with the dirt below. Please share this with anyone you think might benefit from this. Elderly, children, accessibility issues. Maybe there's some people that would really find joy in this that have a hard time leaving their house or wouldn't be able to get up and down this steep hill. Last week I talked about the ripple effect and tossing a stone into the water. If this finds someone through that ripple effect that might feel its benefits, that would be incredible. Noticing the red of the maple leaves, the shadows it's casting on the stones, the contrast of the colors. I haven't stopped on this little spot yet, but let's go ahead and look. You can see the mushroom tree. How peaceful it is here. I've mentioned that I don't listen to a lot of music. Sorry, musicians, anymore. Or headphones, because I like to be able to listen to the natural surroundings. And I feel that there's a health benefit in that as well. This is called Shirt. We're in the foothills of Appalachia. So you've got layers of this ground up dirt, sandstone, and then the limestone. Like, if you've watched this before, let's go down this trail. Notice the different colors of the bark of the trees. How some are bright, some are shadowed. The bright one that pops through all the textures in between here and us, or here and it. Looks like shells. The contrast. The leaves that are still hanging on. I'll just go a little bit farther, but I just want to say thank you if you've discovered this. I'm learning the new things about YouTube and working on bringing you weekly content, whether it be some of the projects that I'm working on or life lessons that I thought I would share with you. And these Fridays where we can take a walk together. You check out my mowing video. That's a goal this year. Change this a little bit. But if you mow like the neighbors, you don't get to see all this beautiful colors. And listen to the birds. There's was it the Sting song, The Fields of Gold? I feel like that might be what he's singing about. It's grass like this. All right, well, I think that it's been a great day. It's pretty nice out. The sun is shining. I don't even need a coat. I just have some nice layers on. So wherever you are in the world today, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you again.